Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to the predictions and breakdowns. Today we're taking a look at UFC Fight Night, Isreal Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer, which is taking place this weekend, March 28th on Saturday, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be taking a look at the entire prelim, starting with the early prelim opener and then ending with the main card. We're going to look at the early prelim opener to start it off. That is Alexia Thanera versus Bruna Brazil. We're going to take Alexia Thanera most likely by inside distance. Bruna Brazil has a bit of a problem on the feet with heavy hitters. Alexia Thanera likes to use her punches to get into the grappling situations, and she has a lot of success in her career on the ground. A lot of submissions and a lot of really good jiu-jitsu play come from the side of Alexia Thanera, and she's actually quite a large frame. She doesn't look that big, but she's quite large for 5'4" in terms of her broadness, and Bruna Brazil just has a big problem. Like I said, she has problems with hitters who actually are willing to fight back almost. Bruna Brazil seems to have a big problem with girls that just don't have a problem getting hit, and that's like Luma Lukbunmi, Kong Wang, Ketlin Souza. All those girls beat her up. Ming Shi and Molly McCann are the only wins that she has in the last 2 years, and those are two cans, in my opinion. Alexia Thanera was able to submit Molly McCann, was able to finish her. And I think Alexia Thanera is just in a big spot here. I think she's looking for a finish, and I think she's looking to throw a bit of a spectacular performance in the air, and I think she's going to get done by submission. I think Bruna Brazil is good. I think this is going to be her first submission loss in her career, but again, she hasn't really fought a whole lot of submission girls. Shawana Bannon was probably the best one that she's fought, and she's a cannon herself, so I think Thanera is just going to take it to the ground and ragdoll her, and I guess we'll see what's up on Saturday. Next, on the prelims, you got Ricky Simón versus Adrian Yanez. Now, we're going to go with, Yanez. Yanez? Oh, Jesus. I'm just going with Adrian. I can't do this right now. What time is it? 10? It is midnight. I can't even read. Ricky Simón, I'm going to go with on the money line. I think the minus 170 is a good price. I think he's still sitting at around minus 160, something like that. Some of the money coming in on Yanez is just ridiculous in my opinion. I think Ricky Simón here is going to beat the hell out of him on the feet. Adrian has a bit of a decent stand-up, but he did get TKO'd by Vinicius Salvador. I don't know why I can't read these names. It's just like my eyes aren't working or something. But Rob Font TKOing him. Jonathan Martinez leg kick TKOing him in the second round was pretty bad. He literally couldn't stand on the leg after the first round. He just kind of had to force through it with the pain. And Ricky Simón did have an unfortunate couple fights. Did almost get cut from the UFC, but knocked out Yabid Bashrat. Got a good decision over the up-and-comer Cameron Smotherman, who I don't really like in my... I think he should not be in the UFC, but whatever. Lost to Hayani Barcelos. Just the vet kind of was a little crafty, kind of beat him up, dragged him to the ground, couldn't get back up. Ricky Simón's in a firefight in this one. This is going to be probably pure stand-up, and I think Ricky Simón kind of capitalizes on the fact that some guys aren't as good in certain areas, and when he fights guys who are lacking in some areas, and Ricky Simón is good in all areas, like he's not the best, but he's good in all areas, he just kind of owns the fight. He kind of just drags you down to the pitfall of where you're shit, and he just drags you into the waters until you're in the third round gasping for air, and you got nothing left because Ricky Simón's all over top of you. Now, he wasn't able to do that to Hayani Barcelos just because the guy's so good everywhere. He wasn't able to do that against Vinicius Oliveira because the kid's too powerful. Mario Bautista is just too crafty, willing to take his time and willing to drag that fight out on the fence like he did to Jose. But we're going with Ricky Simón on the money line. I think Adrian is just kind of coming to the end of his UFC career rather rapidly. He hasn't really had a whole lot of fights in the last 3 years, and I don't really know why. I don't know if it's because of an injury, but when you see a guy who hasn't fought since 2024, you start to put a lot of questions into the air, and you start to get really fucking worried, especially when Adrian obviously could have been asking for fights from anyone, and he just wasn't getting what he should. Beating Tony Kelly, whatever. Beating Davey Grant, a split decision, that was okay, whatever. Randy Costa, dude, these are just terrible fights. These are absolutely terrible. And Ricky Simón's going to be the hardest fight I think he's had in the last 5 years. So let me get Ricky Simón. Next on the prelims, Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez. Navajo Sterling should have an easy time dog-walking Bruno Lopez. You should probably just be scared about the first round, but it should end with a Navajo Sterling knockout in either the second or third. It seems like Bruno Lopez takes shots okay, but when he gets comboed, he just gets hit with eventually something on the temple or on the chin, and he just starts getting a little wobbly. The guy will end up falling over. He's been cracked multiple times. He's recovered well in some of his fights, but Navajo Sterling, a little bit more calculated than a lot of people that he's fought. Bruno Lopez is going to be walking into some fire and some absolute calculated shots that are just going to be devastating to the brain. And I think Navajo Sterling's in a position in his career where he needs to start taking some chances. He needs to start showing that he's a firefight and that he's willing to go into the dogfight, because Sterling is just not putting out the knockouts that we thought we would. We've seen 3 decisions in a row over guys that he should have been knocking out really easily, especially with his skill set. And he's having close rounds with fucking Ivan Ursulin, Tukos, and he's having a close round with Bellado. We're getting a little bit concerned with the fact that this guy might not be ready yet, but he is 28 years of age. He is a light heavyweight. Anything can end in one strike, so I guess it is what it is. But Navajo Sterling will end up winning this fight against Bruno Lopez. Shouldn't even be close. Now, this one's a little bit weird. The line's a little bit too close for my liking. Casey O'Neill versus Gabriela Fernandez. I'm going to go with Casey O'Neill. I think this is one of those positions where the vet's going to have to teach the new girl a lesson. I think Casey O'Neill's been sitting in the UFC a lot longer than Gabriela Fernandez, and I think that has to do with the fact that Gabriela Fernandez isn't very good. Okay, Casey O'Neill's been in the UFC since basically 2020. She got signed at the end of 2020 after winning that fight against Christiana Stillo. And she moved right into the UFC and had 3 finishes in a row over, it doesn't matter if it's against lackluster girls. She's beating up girls that have no business being inside the UFC and who wouldn't get knocked out against lesser contenders inside the UFC, especially in the same weight class. She beats Roxanne Modafferi, basically retires her. Okay, fantastic. Jennifer Maia, Ariana Lipsky, tough fights. Luana Santos, though, beats the shit out of her. And then you look at a new and improved Casey O'Neill. You put some questions in the air, and you're like, wow, she looks really good. Yeah, you know what? She looks really fucking good. And I'm going to pick her for that reason. I think Gabriela Fernandez is just kind of getting a lucky streak. She's had 3 wins in a row. Carly Judy split decision, which was really, really close. Kong Wang, technical submission, after she just absolutely cracked the shit out of her with her right hand. Cranked her when she dragged her to the ground. Kong Wang didn't even fight the hands. She just kind of went to sleep. I think she was a little bit dazed. She beats Julia Stoliarenko, and then all of a sudden she's a fucking even money against Casey O'Neill. Get the hell out of here. I think the money's probably coming from the side of the power, but I think Gabriela Fernandez is a bit in over her depth in this fight. Casey O'Neill, very, very juicy on the ground. Very good at dragging it into deep waters. Got good cardio. Doesn't really care about situations. Just willing to bang. She's got good hands as well. Gabriela Fernandez probably a little bit better on the feet, but if we can drag this to the cage side, I think we're going to see a very good improvement from Casey O'Neill, and the fact that she's been just moving rapidly at a crazy pace. At 28 years of age, this girl's looking better than ever, and I think she's going to continue with a 3-inch reach advantage. Give me Casey O'Neill to get it done on the money line. And that moves us in to another prelim that is a little bit questionable. Marcin Tybura versus Tyrell Fortune at heavyweight. And I fucking hate Marcin Tybura at this point. This guy is dog shit. Knocking out Jonathan Diniz, beating Mick Parkin, and then you lose to Ante Delija, or Deja, whatever the fuck his name is, I don't care, by knockout, because he just blitzes you, is insane. That's insane to me. Now, I understand why this is an even money line. That's because he just got torched. Tyrell Fortune is a guy in the whatever scene, fucking American scene, and I heard he's a big power puncher. And he's willing to go some distance, and he's willing to get some guys out of there late, which is a little bit interesting, especially because he's fighting guys who are a little bit shit, and he's dude, you're fighting a guy who's 65 and 32. 65 and 32. This guy's fought in Bellator, WEC, and Elite XC. This is not real. This cannot, and KOTC a lot. They hire this guy a lot. He fought on BKFC 1 and 2. Oh my god. Yo, this guy should... Joey Beltran. He fought Joey Beltran. What the fuck is going on? He fought... What? He fought Joey Beltran in BKFC 4 and had a split decision draw. Low-key impressive as fuck. Fought Justin Jacoby, gets knocked out in the second round. This guy's getting knocked out in the second round by Justin Jacoby, but Tyrell Fortune is putting him out in the first round, lights out cold. Punch in the fucking face. Boom. Oh my god. I can't believe that's real. Holy shit. Okay. Well, clearly he's got no ground game. He's getting heel hooked in fucking 2 seconds. Tim Johnson. I mean, I don't even know who the fuck this guy... Honestly, let's just... Hold on. Let's just see. Let's just see, honestly. Guys, listen. We're here. We're all here, right? We're looking for some information. We're trying to bet. If you don't want to watch, just skip it. Skip a little bit forward, okay? Tyrell Fortune. Let's just see.
Look at the fades from Tyrell. He's trying to set up that right hand. He's just looking for that space. If that left, boom. And another right hand. It's over. It's over.
I mean, that looked illegal, right?
If that left, boom.
I mean, I guess in transition. Okay. Do I think he's going to blitz Marcin Tybura? I'm going to be real, guys. Most people who fight in the UFC, when they fight for the first time, they kind of have stage fright, okay? And as much as this guy probably is going to come out looking like a badass, looking like a big fucker, listen, Marcin Tybura has never lost to a guy that's not that good, okay? It's just not happened. Ante's pretty good. Sergey Spivak's pretty good. Tom Aspinall, Alexander Volkov's pretty good. Okay, Fabricio Verdum, very good. Derek Lewis, Shamil Aburukhamov at the time, pretty good before he just fucking lost 4 in a row and then you got kicked out of the UFC. Listen, he's not that bad. I'm going to go with Marcin Tybura just because of the fact that he's a UFC vet. He might be 40 years of age, but I don't really give a fuck about that fact, especially at heavyweight. Whatever, you can go till 42 and I think I'm okay with it. But if Tyrell clips him, I don't think he actually survives it. I don't. Because the way he got knocked out by Ante, it looks like when he gets clipped, he kind of gives up. He hit a shot, bro, and he just kind of like held his arms and tried to just fight back. He didn't try to defend at all. He just tried to like throw back. Tyrell's a guy who will just dip and throw an overhand right and eat your shit if he really wants to. So hopefully Tyrell doesn't knock out Marcin, but we're going with Marcin Tybura on the line. He's got an inch of reach. He's got an inch of height. Just get the advantages in the way, and hopefully we get a little bit luckier. Oh my god, with the pick. Next on the prelims, Chase Hooper versus Lance Gibson Jr. We're going with Lance Gibson Jr., I think, to get it done against Chase Hooper. I'm not going to lie. He looked pretty good against King Green on the feet. I'm a little bit concerned with the fact that he might be getting strangled on the ground, but he seems like he has a pretty good base. He seems like he's pretty decent at grappling, and he seems like he might be able to fend off Chase Hooper and whatever bullshit he has to fucking try and rip him out on the ground with. Chase Hooper has a big problem with stand-up. He's a big problem with getting clipped, and he has a big problem if he just gets shucked off. If Chase Hooper does not get a takedown in the first 5 seconds, you're looking at a very, very questionable fight. Chase Hooper got Borshev, he got Levitt, he got 2 old guys, right? Clay Guida, Jim Miller. I don't really give a fuck about those 2. I give a fuck more about the fact that Alexander Hernandez, the Great Ape, was able to torch him in the first round at the end of it because he's got no stand-up. He was just getting clipped. He lost that round really, really badly, and he got knocked out for it. Lance Gibson Jr. here, he's got power. He looks pretty good. He might be able to get it close with Chase Hooper, and he might be able to survive. If he does get taken down later in the fight, which eventually will happen, he might need a finish early. I'm not going to lie. But I don't know if I can even... I honestly would skip this fight. If you were a betting man, I would skip it. I don't know if I can even pick Chase Hooper. I'm so concerned with his stand-up. The fact that he looked like a toddler on legs the last time I saw him out, I don't know. I don't know if he'll ever be good on the feet. And Lance Gibson Jr. looks so scary on the feet compared to Chase Hooper. I'm really scared for the fact that Chase Hooper might get chinned really quickly. So we're going to go with Lance Gibson Jr. A lot of people picking Chase Hooper to get it done by submission, but I think Lance is just... He's learning really well. He did get knocked out by Vladimir Tokov. He had a split decision with King Green, which is pretty impressive. And then you have Chase Hooper, who wouldn't even dare to fight King Green. I think he would get knocked the fuck out, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to go with Lance Gibson Jr. based on MMA math. Now, next on the prelims, you have a highlighted prelim of the evening. They are looking for a finish in this fight, and I think you will find it in Ignacio Bahamondes when he takes on Tofik Musayev. I think he's going to get a knockout over Tofik. Tofik should not be in the UFC. He looked awful against Ordubay. He He looked pretty bad when he was in fucking Bellator, and now he's just moving into the UFC with a big, big knockout record. And Ignacio Bomban is not a guy who gets knocked out. He's not a guy who eats punches and just gives up, and he's kind of a guy who just doesn't really give a shit and is willing to move forward regardless of what happens and regardless of what the possibilities are. He's willing to go into the fire. He's from Chile, and he's willing to just die for whatever country that he's fucking representing at this point, whether it's the US or Chile itself. Or Chile. I think Tofik is just going to get knocked out. I think Ignacio's in a really good spot here to bounce back after the loss against Rafael Fiziev, and I think he's going to get it here. I think he's going to get the knockout. I think he's got the range. I think he's got the high kick, and I think it's going to come over the top. I think Tofik goes out cold to a high kick and some punches. That's all I got to say about that one. Let's start off the main card of the evening and get into the first one, which they're looking for a finish for, and I think we got it in Terrence McKinney when he takes on Kyle Nelson. We're going with Terrence McKinney by knockout. Kyle Nelson gets hit. He takes shots really, really well, but Terrence McKinney hits with a different level of power. This is a guy who's willing to just throw literally everything that he has possible into a fucking punch, and McKinney puts everybody out. He puts everybody out. He doesn't give a shit. And if he doesn't get you in something, he's choking you out really, really, really bad. And it's going to hurt, and you're going to go out cold. Kyle Nelson's in some big shit here. You basically are betting, if you look here, it says a minus 140, right? And it says plus 115 for Kyle Nelson. If you bet Terrence McKinney, you are basically betting on a 5-minute fighter, right? And I'm willing to take that. I'm willing to take it if it's those odds against Kyle Nelson. I'm not going to lie. I think Terrence McKinney's just fantastic. I think the kid's really good. I love Kyle Nelson. He actually lives close to me, but I'm not willing to... I'm not really willing to pick a countryman over the fact that Terrence McKinney looks like an absolute fucking dog on wheels, and he's willing to just fucking flying knee people from his hip. I think Terrence McKinney's going to knock him out or just do something devastating to him, and we're going to have a highlight reel on Saturday night. Now, next on the main card, you have Mansour Abdul Malik versus Yusri Belgauri. Jesus Christ. Mansour Abdul Malik versus Yusri Belgauri. These are crazy names. We're going with Yusri Belgauri on the feet and on the money line as an underdog to get it done. I think the line is still a little bit sketchy because Yusri is not very good at MMA. He's very good at kickboxing. But this is one of those fights where I think Malik is not that good of a wrestler to be able to take down Yusri Belgauri on the feet. And I think he's just going to be in a position where he kind of forces him against the cage. But that's kind of where Yusri wants to be. He wants to be in that knee spot. He wants to be in those clinch situations. And he wants to slowly wear Mansour Abdul Malik down as the fight goes on. I think Mansour's in for a bit of a treat when it comes to getting beat up on the feet. He had a really... getting controlled by Nick Klein and cracked is not what you want to see. Yusri's going to be a lot more crafty in that cage. He's going to be a lot more excited to be there. It seems as though this might be in the Apex, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check here. Oh no, we're in Seattle, Washington in an arena. I guess it's Isreal Adesanya. That makes sense. But we're going to have a big cage, I guess. But Belgauri, dude, he's just going to have so much room. He's going to work so well, and he's just going to crack Mansour Abdul Malik. He's actually one of the few guys that are larger than Mansour as well. He's very, very tall at 185, and he's willing to crack. He's willing to bang, and he's willing to take it all out because he's got real cardio, and Mansour Abdul Malik doesn't have the type of fight cardio that Yusri Belgauri does from Bellator. We're going to take the underdog. I think you have to take the underdog here. I think he's just too good. 6'6". Let's ride with the dog. Next on the main card, this is not even close in my opinion. And if it becomes close, I'm going to be really fucking concerned. Julian Erosa versus Larian Douglas. Or Larian Douglas. We're going with Larian Douglas by knockout. I mean, he looked fucking fantastic against Cam Teague. It looks like he's got very, very crafty punches. And it looks like he's willing to throw himself into the fire, and which is a bit of a problem with Julian Erosa because he's going to just snatch your neck and put you down. But I think in this place, I think he's going to get the knockout. I think Julian Erosa's getting to the point of his career where he's kind of getting into a bounce back. I think Larian Douglas is here to set it back down to where they want him in the UFC. I think they want to keep him as a gatekeeper, and I think Julian Erosa is getting a little too close. So they're putting Larian Douglas, a very dangerous prospect, into this situation just to put him out of his fucking misery and put him down back in the rankings. I think Larian Douglas is good. I'm pretty sure he's a round one bust, though. Yeah, I mean, he's gotten knocked out in the first round as well. Shepe got him as well in the triangle. That's after he got knocked down, though. I mean, Javier Reyes is a very good win on the record of Larry Douglas, and a knockout at that. This guy's a dog, man. I think Julian Rose is in for a bad night. I think even though he's got the advantages, he's got some height, he's got some reach. We're not worried about that. He's going to wade into the fire regardless. And as long as he doesn't get the stage fright, and as long as he's awake, he's got on the main card. I know for his first fight in the UFC, but as long as he's in it and as long as he's aware, and he doesn't have that UFC rust, I think Larry Douglas gets it done by knockout. I mean, he has to. Julian Erosa gets tagged too often. He takes really bad shots, and he's just kind of on autopilot half the time, looking for his grappling to save him from all hell coming loose. Now, next on the main card, Michael Chiesa versus Nico Price. This is the sleeper of all sleepers. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I mean, realistically, this is probably the best fight and best chance Nico Price has to win a fight. I think the underdog status comes from the fact that he's getting knocked out repeatedly by contenders. But if you really take it into account, this is not a contender fight, and this is purely just an old man fight. And I can really see him winning this fight against Michael Chiesa. I understand Michael Chiesa is very, very good with the submissions. He's kind of been gifted a couple wins recently, and this might be another one against Nico Price, but Nico Price is the younger fighter. He actually does have the reach advantage, and he does, I mean, in my opinion, he has the frame advantage as well. He looks pretty big. And he does look really good on the feet, guys. He's not a terrible fighter. He beat Alex Morona recently. Like, this isn't a long time ago. This is literally 2 years ago. He beat Alex Morona as a plus 240. He's good. He's still got it in him. He's just a guy who's been cracked a couple too many times. Robbie Lawler got him in fucking 2023 as a send-off, which was kind of sketchy. And then he just got some hard fights. Themba Garimbo controlled him the whole time. Jacoby Smith, same thing. I understand he's got a little bit of a problem with the grappling. Hopefully, he can overcome Michael Chiesa. I'm picking Michael Chiesa to win, but I really want Nico Price to win this. I would take Nico Price plus 3.5, honestly. If this goes to a decision, he'll win at least a round. I think Michael Chiesa is going to gas eventually. Maybe he'll take a round off him then. But Nico Price, man, please, just do something. Next on the co-main event of the evening, Alexa Grasso versus Macy Barber. We're going with Macy Barber to get it done. The future is bright for Macy Barber, and I think she's going to continue her role. Alexa Grasso's okay. I mean, she looked pretty good on her way up the streak, but at this point, she's already received gold. She's already gotten her money. She's already rich. She doesn't really have anything to aspire to be anymore in Guadalajara. Like, she's already got everything that she's ever wanted, and I think at this point, Macy Barber just wants it more. Alexa Grasso's already seen the gold. She's already seen the money. Macy Barber is just trying to get there. She's on a fucking roll. She's beat the hell out of a couple contenders as well. She knocked out Amanda Hebos recently in the last 2 years. Like, just let the girl have her time. Let the girl have her due. I think she's ready. Give her the title after this and just let her roll with it. I think she's in a fantastic position to take it. Oh my god! And I think she's gonna have a fantastic time trying to get there. It'll be an interesting fight at 125 for sure, especially at flyweight. I mean, it was Shevchenko. Yeah, it's going to be a hard fight, but it'll be a good fight. I'm going to go with Macy Barber, though. I think Alexa Grasso's just past her due. She's past her time, and I think she needs to maybe start thinking about some other endeavors. Next on the card, we have the main event of the evening. If you guys did enjoy this so far, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have not already. We have Isreal Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer, and we're going with Isreal Adesanya to get it done against Joe Pyfer. I cannot in good conscience pick Joe Pyfer to get it done on this card. I'm not going to lie. I think if you really want to pick a good bet, you go under 4.5 rounds. This should be an interesting fight from Isreal Adesanya, and this should be a knockout victory in the later rounds. I think Joe Pyfer's just got a huge striking disadvantage with Isreal Adesanya, and he's just so good. So slick, the counter shots are there. He's not fighting an awkward fighter. He's not fighting a guy like Nasruddin Imavov who's consistently super connected and super specific with his strikes and very calculated. You're fighting Joe Pyfer, who just kind of spams overhands and spams the winning shot and doesn't really look for any combinations whatsoever. So I'm going to go with Izzy to get it done. Inside distance. I think he's just got the frame. He's got the reach. This is a perfect fight for him to try and bounce back for, and as long as he gets the win, he will continue fighting. If he loses this fight, I'm almost 100% certain that the style bender will end up retiring after this bout, and Joe Pyfer will just go on with his career being the guy to retire Izzy at the stake. I mean, I think Izzy's just got the best possible chance in the last 3 fights to get a win on back on the record here. I don't think he wants to tarnish his record anymore. I think this is just it. Has to be it. And I think Izzy for a knockout is very, very likely here. I think he's just too good. Like, I know coming up he was a very, very devastating knockout artist, and I know he kind of put that all on the side when he became champion. But this is Izzy who wants it back. He wants it bad. This is a 5-rounder fight with a guy who doesn't really go 5 rounds. This is a guy who kind of sleeps on 5-round fights, especially against Jack Hermanson. Jack Hermanson beat the shit out of him as that fight went on. He hurt him bad. And if anybody's going to hurt him worse than Jack Hermanson, it's Isreal Adesanya on the feet. That's all I got for you guys today. Again, Isreal Adesanya minus 140. Smash it all day. We're going to take that no matter what. Again, Saturday, 5 p.m. excuse me. Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be live for the entire card with an entire fight breakdown, play-by-play, and live bets on the corner. And that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have not already. I'll see you guys all for the live if you're there. And if not, I'll see you guys for the next video, which I probably will post either today or excuse me, I guess today is when I upload it. Today, Thursday, or tomorrow, Friday. But that's it, boys. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Peace.